welcome Alan Webb, Carlene Berger, and Kay Adams to Parties Extra. I'm Helen Ford Wallace, and we are at the Oklahoman's Video Studio to talk about Oklahoma City Town Hall. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Town Hall is really pretty amazing. You have 1,000 members, I think, and your lecture series has been going on for quite a while.
Yes,
So tell us a little bit about Town Hall.
Started in 1933 by an organization that Kay still belongs to.
Junior League of Oklahoma City.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
This will be our 85th year. We meet 3 times each of 2 years, 6 sessions over a season. So September, October, November, and then February, March, and April.
And these 1,000 members all come?
Typically we meet at St. Luke's, which is at 222 North, is it Robinson? It's not on Robinson, it's on
222 Northwest 15th.
15th,
It's right
yeah,
by Robbie.
yeah. And it's been there for years. This coming event, though, there's some construction going on in the sanctuary at St. Luke's, so we're going to be meeting at the First Baptist Church, which is at 1201 North Robinson.
So can they handle all those people?
They did. They did it for us in November.
Oh, they did?
Yes, they did. They were just delightful to work with. Kristen Acti is the pastor there, and they just stepped up, brought in their own staff, and did a fantastic
And you all meet
job.
at 10:30 in the morning. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, 10:30 on Thursday mornings, the third Thursday of each month, of each of those 6 months.
That is pretty awesome. Well, you also have this variety of speakers that everyone wants to hear, I think. So tell us about your speakers this year.
Well, we had a blast this year. We had we started off with David Mines, a nutritionist, and he was hilarious, did a great job. And then it was kind of fun to have Ambassador John Bolton in. If you watch any television at all, you see him constantly on the news.
He talks all the time.
He does. He is brilliant. And although he comes, you and I were talking about this, although he comes across very serious on television, he was a lot of fun to be around. He was hilarious. And then right after him, we had Colonel Alan West in November. Talk about a true American patriot. That man was amazing.
And he is an excellent speaker.
Yes.
He's excellent on TV. He was probably excellent. I heard him at your dinner the night before. He was wonderful, personable, happy.
Yes,
I don't know.
yeah, very much so. Yeah, we were. I stood by him while he was signing books, and he was approached by I don't know how many people in the crowd saying, "Would you run for president?" he would
so you have book signers. I mean, book authors.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We have a local bookstore that brings in the books, and the authors will sign the books on the spot. So Bolton did that. Alan West did that. And then Frank Wong did that. He's the president of Oklahoma School of Science and Math, which Carlene is close to. And he spoke last month, and he was the sleeper of the year, I thought.
He was funny.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was so funny.
Yes.
Very knowledgeable and a big background of education.
So he was really good. You all liked him.
Absolutely.
So these are all huge successes, sounds like.
Yes.
So how do you
they've been
pick
great.
these topics? Or do they just come to you?
Well, we worked with, I don't know how Carlene will talk about what she's got lined up for next year, but I worked with speakers bureaus throughout the country, and then, which is interesting. I had never done that, but it's interesting to work with the speakers bureaus, and you end up in kind of a little bidding auction. We argue about the price and whether they're going to fly in first class or coach.
That's kind of fun.
It was fun, yeah. It's fun to win those. You know.
So who do you have coming up?
Coming up is Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. He is a cardiologist in Scottsdale, has his own practice, does extremely well. He's a first-generation Muslim. His parents came here challenged by the Ba'ath regime in Syria, so they brought him here as a baby, and he has formed 2 foundations to fight the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE and some of those more Muslim organizations, and he's out there trying to teach the Muslim the importance of democracy and freedom, and the separation of mosque and state is how he puts
Very
it.
timely.
Yeah.
All these are very timely topics.
Yeah, yeah, he's fantastic. If you see his picture, you'll recognize him. He's on. Well, I have a list here. He's been in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Times, the New York Post, the Dallas Morning News, CNN, CBS, Fox News, MSNBC, and BBC. I see him on Fox News at least once a week. He's out there. He's a true American patriot in every sense.
What's his name?
Jasser, Dr. Zuhdi
Okay,
Jasser.
so I'm gonna look for him too. Okay.
So he's coming in from Scottsdale.
And that's in March?
Yes, that'll
Okay.
be the 15th at 10:30 at St. Luke's.
Okay.
Not at St. Louis.
No, thank you so much.
First Baptist.
It's going to be at First Baptist. I just said that. Forgot already. Thank you for correcting.
Okay, and then in April?
We have Peter Zihon. He is a geopolitical strategist, which sounds horrible, I'm sure, but he is the Chamber of Commerce, Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce brought him in a couple of years ago, and he was just incredible. He wrote the book, The Accidental Superpower, about America. But he travels all over the world. He's the most sought-after speaker of all these famous speakers we've had this year. He's the most sought-after. Speaks to groups all over the
Really?
globe. Yeah. He's got quite a vision for the future of the world in terms of energy and where we're going with energy and economics. And he's got a positive viewpoint for the U.S., but not so much for some of the rest of the world. It's intriguing to listen to him. But he had a standing ovation at the Chamber of Commerce, so we were able to carefully negotiate his fees to get him in here. We're pretty proud to have him.
So you're going out with a bang.
Yes.
With him.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
awesome. So do you have lunch? I mean, you have your programs, and anyone can come. I mean, can you buy a ticket at the door?
Yeah, tickets to the door are $25 this year.
Uh-huh.
And it's too late to buy the season tickets or half-season tickets, of course, but you could get each of these next two speakers for $25, buy them at the door. And then luncheon tickets are $18 this year, and they'll go to $20 next year, right?
So
Carla?
after the program is lunch, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the speaker speaks for 45 minutes to an hour in the sanctuary, and then in both churches, First Baptist next month and St. Luke's thereafter, we have the luncheon in the building.
And then Kay told me that you all have your question and answer period at lunch. So I think that's kind of cool.
It is. It's fun. It's a smaller group. You know, there may be 1,000 people attend the big event, but only 175 to 200 in the small room, and you can
That
ask any
works
question
better.
you want. Yeah, you're just one-on-one with them. It's a lot of fun.
So Carleen, what's coming up for next season?
I am so excited. We've got some wonderful people speaking to timely subjects. And the first one is Dr. Keith Smith, and in 2009 he posted pricing for surgical procedures online, and for the Surgery Center of Oklahoma, and he was so surprised because all these Canadian people started coming to his clinic. So he is, so when they were talking about the Affordable Health Care Act, he was on all the national talk shows because he was dealing with all these patients that were in nationalized health situations, and they were coming to Oklahoma.
So everyone's going to want to come see him.
And the deal, and I could go on and on and on, but he is just, and he has very graciously waived his speaker's fee because he gets big time money going to other places, and since he's an Oklahoma City boy.
Nice.
And in October, we're having Jimmy Wayne, and this is sort of out of the usual venue. He's a country and western singer who's in his 30s, and he's written a book that was on the New York Times bestseller list, and well, he's written 3 books, and the last one just came out, so I don't know where it is, but he's been on the Grand Ole Opry 212 times, but I have to admit, I don't necessarily know anything about country and western music.
Is he going to sing?
No, well, I don't think so, but he's going to talk about his story, and he was a foster care kid, and all the things that have happened, and the time I heard him, grown men were crying. He moves people, but it's a positive, it's not a downer, it's a positive thing. And in November, Dr. Patrick Moore is going to speak, and he is one of the co-founders of Greenpeace. And I thought that was a very timely, we're all talking about climate change and what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And he has a foot in both spears because he started Greenpeace, was obviously one of the first environmental things, and he's saying, from a scientist's view, he's saying, oh wait, maybe this climate change thing, we definitely need to analyze it because I think it's some of the figures are off and what we're doing.
So that's interesting.
It is interesting, and he is definitely thought-provoking. And the thing about it is, he's got a foot in both camps, an environmentalist and he's a very scientifically minded person. And in February, Nancy Miller, who went to McGinnis and then went to OU, she went to Hollywood, and she has produced and written many TV shows. And she moved back to Oklahoma City. Actually, she lives about a block and a half from me. And you wouldn't recognize her in the store thinking she's this person that lived in Hollywood for 45 years, because she has an OU sweatshirt on. and she's just a delight. But she wrote and produced Saving Grace and a lot of that kind of genre programs. And she's in, I'm not going to take her wind away, because she's working on a project in Oklahoma, and she needs to be the one that talks about that. But she could talk about Hollywood and the last 40 years, what's happened, and she knows the insides.
So you have a couple of local ties going on.
But Nancy definitely, you know, she can give us the inside scoop in Hollywood from an Oklahoma perspective.
That's awesome.
Okay, and in March, the Antique Roadshow, one of the contributors is Meredith Malley. I hope I pronounced her name right. She's out of Dallas, and her expertise is silver, glass, and she teaches the courses from Heritage in Dallas, and she's their chief appraisal, and she's a television cutie. She's a little blonde, and I think she's, you know, she looks like she's a baby to me, but she's in the business a long time. So if you've got Aunt Mabel's priceless thing and you want to know how to find out, you need to come to that one for sure. And Shelley Haynes is the last one, and she's Oklahoma grown too.
That's awesome.
She went to Awesome, is how I know her. So, and that's the School of Science and Mathematics, and she's one of the few people that she has a star named after her.
Really?
And she lived in Antarctica, and she had pictures of what they had to do to get dressed to go out in the weather. And you know, you'd think it wouldn't be funny, but she has such a sense of humor. She was talking about how long it took them to get dressed and what they had to do. And the other thing she talked about, and maybe the company that designed the place that they were staying in Antarctica was from Hawaii.
Oh.
And so she said, she seriously said, you know, some of the bedrooms have refrigerators, and we were like, what is she talking about? They didn't compensate for the transfer of cold, and because it was a Hawaiian company.
Oh.
So they put metal in some of the windows, and so it would leach all this cold air into the room. And so they had to cover it up, but they could put stuff there and it would be frozen the next morning.
That is amazing. So she's got some good stories too. So all these speakers are fabulous, you all. I mean, everybody would want to see all of them. How did you all get involved with Town Hall? Kay, how'd you do?
One of my neighbors gave me some tickets when she left town. I thought that sounds really interesting. I like lectures. I like to be entertained, and I'd like to learn new things. And so I went to one lecture and I got hooked.
Well, I mean, if you're curious, you learn something every time you go. So you were hooked then.
I really was. I thought, wow, in 1 hour, look what I learned. I mean, these people are experts and they're enlightening. And to me, it's fascinating. I can't wait for the next one to come on. But I've been on the board now about 10 years.
And you do have a board, so that's good.
Yes, we have a nice big board that everyone does function beautifully on. Everyone does their own thing, and it works out great for everyone.
What do they do?
Well, Alan, you can address that.
Well, we've got the board is incredible. When Don Kasperite convinced me to take the presidency role, he said, don't worry, you don't have to do anything. The board does all the work. You take all the credit, which wasn't quite true. But yeah, we've got Kay, of course, handles PR. We've got Jean-Ann Van Horn, who handles the luncheons, and she has help from Carolyn Bean, and they handle that just splendidly. One of the most important, two of the most important board members, though, I have to say, is Patty Birchall. Patty handles all the tickets and all the money, and just does a fantastic job. Sam and his wife Jeannie act as treasurer and secretary. And then I call him the chairman of the board. George McDowell has been involved for years. You probably know George. Everybody in town knows George McDowell. Yes. He is the turn-to guy for all of us. You'll be working closely with him next year, Carlene. He's been a savior to me. Everything I need and every problem that's come up, I turn to George and he helps me take care of it with a loud laugh. He's always in a good mood. So yeah, the board is just fantastic. Dawn and Carol Casperite have been past presidents and they're extremely involved. Dr. Richard Smith, the neurologist from Mercy, he and his wife, I mean, here's a guy that's running the Mercy Neurology Department, which is a huge task, and he has time for town hall and everything he does for that, which makes the rest of us feel guilty about not giving more time when he can do that.
Well, so how did you get involved in?
The Casperites, they're friends and clients, and
so they
drew me in, yeah, and as Kay said, you kind of get hooked, don't you?
How about you, Carlene? How did you get involved?
I think I read about a speaker in the paper, and I went to hear, and fell in love with it. And it's different than seeing him on television because they have the liberty of saying what, and the time to express what's really there. So it's a whole different venue. And if you think you've seen, it's like John Bolton. He said stuff there that I wish I could just quote all the things he said that you never hear him say on TV because he doesn't have the time or the venue to do it.
And he doesn't want to scare America to death, but he didn't mind scaring us to death.
That's true.
Well, so can you all have new members? Do you have new? I mean,
yes, we're
always open.
Always open. We have a membership drive going next year. The entire season is $100 for next year and $120 for the luncheon. So if you know, what's that come to? Like $17 a speaker. So I call it the best entertainment value in Oklahoma City.
It's a real bargain.
So how do we join?
Well, you can go to okctownhall.com. We have the speakers on there and a way to join and the history of the group. And then Carlene's going to be doing a new brochure soon, and great articles in the newspaper that I appreciate a lot. That attracts a big audience, and we are very grateful.
And Facebook. We've got a Facebook page, and we keep it updated. So we're trying to get more socially conscious in terms of social media. So
well, I mean, sounds like you have a big base already. I mean, you've got a good group, and so do you and you want more members?
Absolutely.
So. Okay, so we're in a quest for that.
Yeah, St. Luke's we can easily hold 1,300.
Oh, you can.
Yes.
So that's what that was.
So until we're standing room only at St. Luke's, I think we just continue to push on, and the advantage to that is those membership fees help bring in these high dollar speakers. That, and I should mention too that we've got sponsors.
Oh, good. Tell us your sponsors.
The Chickasaw Nation has been a long-time sponsor. They're very important. Bank First and Gene Rainbolt are excellent. And then, of course, Quail Creek Bank, where I'm at, we sponsor every year. And then Laura Lynn's Home Care. Courtney at Laura Lynn's has become very involved on the board. We had a meeting this week, a marketing meeting with her this week and her people. So, and then Joe Kernke at Smith and Kernke. So we've got an excellent group of sponsors. But the more members we get, the better speakers we can have. So.
And all of you all are friends too.
Yes.
I mean, that whole group.
Yeah.
What's really neat, I try to sit at a different table every time, and I've met some delightful people from places other than Oklahoma City, and I want to put a plug in. This is a great thing to give somebody that you can't figure out how to give a birthday gift or, you know, a graduation gift or something like that, and this is something that
a good membership to this. What a
idea.
Good idea. I mean, people would love this. This is great. Okay, well, anything else you all want to say about, Alan, you want to say about the whole thing?
No, come to see Judy Jasser the 15th of March at the First Baptist Church. You'll love that. It's terrific. And although the name Peter Zehon's not well known, I promise anybody that shows up there without bringing a friend is going to regret it, because they're going to wish they had brought friends to that. It's going to be
Everybody
fantastic.
needs to hear.
It's going to be fantastic.
How about you, Carly? Anything else you want to say about your next season?
If you don't come, you're going to miss out on something, especially if you know somebody that doesn't usually go to this kind of thing. The country and western singer Jimmy Wang might be a perfect kind of open the door for that, and also the Meredith from Antique Roadshow. That would be a fun thing, and they could get their feet wet and then fall in love with it and never leave.
Actually, they all sound good. Every single one of them sound really, really special. So great. Good job, you all, on that. How about you, Kay? Anything else you want to say?
Well, grab your friends and come join us. You will really enjoy it.
Great. So, well, thanks you all for all of this information.
Well, thank you.
Seems like your group has an in-depth look at all the experts in many different fields and are very curious about things. It sounds like an excellent way to get various topics explained in a nonpartisan way. I love Alan's enthusiastic greeting on your brochure here. He said he noted that the season tickets prices, he could not think of any better entertainment venue in all of America. I thought that was pretty good. Great job, you all. Have a good rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.